Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Virtual Encounters. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Those struggling to overcome tough times and heartbreaks have so much to learn from our guest today. Golfer Aditi Ashok, who came very close to winning an Olympic medal, who finished fourth, missed the medal by a whisker, is our guest today. Everyone was awake at 4 a.m. and watching her compete at Tokyo Olympics 2020. Unfortunate, it was very disappointing for her also, and obviously for the entire nation that she couldn't win a medal. But again, she has done a lot for the future generation. She is with us today on Virtual Encounters. Welcome Aditi, welcome to DD India. I appreciate you giving us your precious time. First of all, how have you been doing, and congratulations on your wonderful performance in Tokyo Olympics 2020. But heartbreak that you couldn't finish on the podium?
Yes, a little bit. Of course, every athlete goes to the Olympics, a medal, and finishing fourth is like the one place you don't want to be. But it was a really good attempt. I think I gave my best shot at it, and I was one of the lower ranked golfers in the field, and I was playing with most of the field was ranked better than me in the world ranking. So I think it was a good performance to finish fourth in that field.
Absolutely, indeed. I mean, there's no doubt about the performance. We all woke up at 4 o'clock. We were watching on TV, and everyone was, in fact, golf was trending also when you were competing. But again, how did you deal with that fourth position? I know nobody wants to be in that position, but how did you deal with that? We all were heartbroken. We all were disappointed. But we want to know from you, what were you feeling? How did you cope with the fourth finish?
Yeah, I think I never knew, how big the Olympics can get, especially when you're in the hunt for a medal. The whole country is behind you and watching you and hoping you win a medal. And I'm so grateful that all the Indians in India, especially, woke up at 4 a.m. to watch golf and, learn about golf. I think that was the biggest victory from the Olympic week for me. But yeah, fourth place is in any other tournament, it would be great. But at the Olympics, it's just not enough. But I think it motivates me to work harder. The opportunity comes once every 4 years, so I'm just hoping I can have that chance and maybe finish way better than fourth next time.
But it took time to settle down. It took time to maybe control your emotions.
Not really, a little bit, because it got over immediately, and then you have to do the scorecard submission, and then you have to do the media and everything. So I was fine, but I think seeing the impact it had on social media with a lot of big figures in India, like whether it's the prime minister or president tweeting about it, or famous personalities tweeting about it, which was, you realize how big it was and how big it would have been if I had won a medal. But I think it was still a great week for golf in India. And now maybe it can show that golf is also like a medal kind of sport. If you put in the effort, and if you have four good performances between two guys, two girls, you can actually try and get a medal. So that is of course a good thing for the next Olympics.
Absolutely. But what do you think went wrong in the final stretch? No one can tell that better than you. Golfing gods were not on your side.
Yeah, maybe. I think golf is always like that. It's just one stroke here or there, and it could be any one stroke in 4 days. So I played like 72 holes. So it could be any stroke in 4 rounds where you feel like it could have been that much better. But I think I did so many things good in 4 days. Maybe a couple things didn't go my way, whether it was a couple drop shots on the final day, or maybe the last couple putts which looked good but didn't go in the hole. But it's fine. That's just the way golf is. And I still think, I did the best that I could. And maybe I have to work a lot harder to win a medal. Maybe that's what, is the lesson from this. So that's what I'm going to take and try and do that for the next Olympics.
But did you see that picture which was trending? World number one on one side, former world number one, and world number 200. Did you see that? And sports is all about momentum, mental aspect too. How did you control your nerves competing with maybe world number one, former world number one, and alongside them, Aditi Ashok, who is world number 200?
Yes, I think, yeah, that was another, good part of the week, that it was no one really expected someone ranked so low to maybe finish third or fourth or
Hmm.
top, or win. So yeah, that was the greatest part for me, because even though I was ranked so low and maybe didn't have a lot of things going my way, I could still manage to play 4 rounds, put
Yeah.
together 4 rounds which were almost close, just shy of a medal, but it's still, I put myself in contention for it, which was great, because they're arguably one of the both the best golfers. One has been world number one for a really long time, one has won 4 times this season. So definitely going up against great golfers who are playing good right now. So that was also a neat experience, because I had always been at the top but never at the top all 4 days. So that was another good thing for me in my career, to be able to play with world number ones every day and try and
Yeah.
match up to them.
Hmm. Indeed, it must have given you a lot of confidence. But we want to know from you, Aditi, how has life changed after Tokyo Olympics? Uh, you have performed exceptionally well. We all know that, and you have given your best. And we hope that you get medal in Paris 2024. But what has changed after Tokyo? People have started recognizing you more.
I think a lot more, with social media and everything, golf and me have gotten a lot more popular, which is great for the sport in India. And I think it's always good that people learn about golf, read about golf, because then you get more kids starting to play, which is, I think, what we need in India, more junior golfers and more junior girls, especially playing. So I think this was good to feed that aspect. And for me, not much has changed. I've been traveling a lot, so I'm still playing tournaments, and I have, I think, at least 6 or 8 more till the end of the year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all of those and finishing my season strong, because I'm obviously playing well, which is what the Olympics gave me, that confidence. So hopefully I can carry that kind of game and momentum into the rest of the season.
Hmm. But what was your aim at the Tokyo Olympics? Very few would have expected this performance, but honestly, we want to know from you, what was your realistic aim before the games?
Of course, to win a medal, because golf
Hmm.
is a sport where it doesn't
Hmm.
matter how you played last week or what your ranking is. Every week,
Hmm.
if you play good, you can win. You can win
Hmm.
the tournament, or you can be in the top. So yes, my goal was to, play the best that I could 4 days consistently and try and win a medal, if possible, gold medal, because that's what everybody goes there for. But I just came up a bit short. But yeah, I think I did perform, maybe not to my expectations, because everyone wants to win, but every
Yeah.
athlete wants to win. But I guess better than so many people expected of me, which was good.
Hmm. But are you happy with the impact? You also talked about the impact after your performance. It has been positive. People have started learning about golf, uh, writing about golf also, and everyone knows you now.
Yes, yeah, that's, I mean, knowing me or not is not important.
Yeah.
It's just people know that, okay, golf was a sport where,
Hmm.
initially golf was a sport where only golfers in India would know about it or read about it, but now it's something where even regular kids going to school might talk about it, as how we studied about whether it was Milkha Singh or so many past athletes finishing fourth or finishing, almost winning an Olympic medal. As much as we study about people who have won medals, we learn about the people who came up close. So if so many kids or people in India read about golf, that, oh, once somebody came fourth, then it becomes a sport that people would try and pursue and think, oh, we do maybe have a medal chance if we focus in golf too. So I think
Hmm.
that part is great. And whether it was me or any other golfer that finished fourth, I think for a country like India, especially, women golfers in India, where it hasn't been as many in the past, 20, 30 years, it's just been a very few numbers of girls playing internationally. I think it was great to put golf, Indian women's golf especially, on that world stage, and bring the popularity in India.
Hmm. But Aditi, I'm sorry, I'm asking this question from you again. I mean, how did you cope with that? You think after you got the congratulatory messages and hashtags trending, golf, Aditi Ashok was trending, you think if you had won, if you had finished on the podium, the impact would have been much, much higher, much, much greater?
Yes, obviously, because then it would have gone in the history books, of
Hmm.
winning a medal. Nobody remembers anybody who came fourth in the Olympics,
No,
especially
no,
because
nothing,
they give
nothing
out
like that. Nothing
because they
like
give
that.
out
I mean,
three
that's how.
medals.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the way it is. And I still think that, I did make it because I was in the running for almost all 4 days,
Yeah.
literally up until the last 20 minutes, 10 minutes of the game, where I missed out on the score to tie the silver and bronze playoff. I
Hmm.
mean, till then I was in it. So I still think it was, that people would have read and heard about golf a lot. And hopefully that was more than enough to boost the popularity, even if I didn't, achieve my goal of winning a medal.
Yeah. But who has been your biggest inspiration, Aditi? Your father was your caddy in Rio. Here in Tokyo, it was your mother. Uh, Parents standing beside you, always a big, big motivation.
Yes, for sure. I think I wouldn't have gotten so far without their support and help, because a lot of the times they had to make, individual efforts and personal, I would say personal sacrifices to make sure I got to play some international tournaments. I got to compete or practice every day, whatever it is. I think it doesn't
Yeah.
happen without parent support. And I think I wanted them to be part of this experience. Like in Rio, I wanted my dad to be there because it's the Olympics and it's the world's biggest stage. And the same, as soon as that happened, I wanted my mom to be part of Tokyo. And the only
Okay.
way I would have that happen is if she was carrying my bag. So that was a neat experience. Also, because I played well, it didn't really affect my performance or anything. So that was another good part, that she kept me calm and it worked for my game as well.
Hmm. Right. And you finished 41st in Rio, if I'm not wrong, fourth
Yes.
in Tokyo. How do you see yourself in terms of growth from 2016 in Rio to 2021 in Tokyo? And in what parameters do you see yourself growing?
I think when I played in Rio in 2016, I had just finished high school, my 12th
Hmm.
exams, and I went there in 3 months. But this
Hmm.
time I had gone after playing 5, 6 years on tour. I've been this is my sixth season on European tour and my fifth season on the US LPGA tour. So that itself, I think, conditioned me a lot more than when I went to Rio. You could say I was a rookie at that time, literally a
Hmm.
rookie, and I hadn't played more than like 4 or 5 tournaments before that. But this time I've played almost 5, 6 years more on the same stage and the same level as the Olympics would be, because every week you're playing with 150 of the best golfers in the world. So I think that also maybe conditioned me for this Olympics. And it's obviously all that experience helps you as a golfer. You get better, and
Yeah.
some weeks when weeks like this, when everything comes together, that experience helps you. Because in Rio also I was, I think, top three after the first 2 days, but
Hmm.
obviously I finished 41st. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how good you are after 2 days. It matters staying in it till the end, which is after 4 rounds.
Yeah, that's very, very important. But what will your performance do for golf in India? It's not an easy sport. We all know, very expensive too. Not everyone can buy the golf club. But again, at least the popularity for this sport will grow immensely.
Yes, I think the biggest thing in India is that, school going kids don't get exposed to golf ever,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
They can play cricket or hockey or basketball or football, literally any sport they get to play in like their school or, during break times and stuff. But
yeah,
we don't get kids ever getting exposed to golf. So I
yeah,
think this is, a small step in getting the game popular and kids asking about it. And then later, if they do end up wanting to try, they can always, come to a golf club. And hopefully this also improves junior programs all over the country, where clubs are more accommodating and more welcome to juniors picking up the game.
yeah.
And then maybe this also helps more public facilities in India open for golf, because the popularity is building. So yes, yeah, the golf business in India is not as big and it has to get bigger. And I hope, the popularity improves that in the few years to come. It has improved in the last 10, 12 years since when I was a kid.
Okay.
But obviously for a country like India, we need way more numbers than we already have.
But how did you start playing golf? Who gave you the golf club?
No, nobody actually. Me and my parents started at the same time. We all just started it as a family activity, something to
Okay.
just do on the weekends. But I
Hmm.
think I was really hooked to the sport. I started with putting, and then I enjoyed it a lot. I wanted to learn the rest of the game, so I went back to learn everything, and then my thrill was to play on the golf course, not just practice but actually go and play on the course. And once I did that and played tournaments with other kids at the age of 7, that was the most interesting experiences I had had until then. For a regular school going child, traveling or playing two round tournaments with kids your age, at that time it was mostly boys, but still playing with other kids your age was a fun experience. So that was what motivated me to keep practicing every day.
Right, and you have come a long way. Aditi, I need to tell this to our viewers. You have 3 LET titles to your name, 2 on the Indian circuit. Both you won as an amateur. Uh, she has been recording high finishes on the tough LPGA tours as well, and LPGA is the highest ranked tour for women. Uh, Aditi, at just 23, you have achieved what others could not. But how do you see your future now? What golf means to you?
Yeah, I think obviously a lot of the things I've done from the young age, whether it's winning twice in my first season at the age of 18, and by 19, I had won thrice in Europe on the European tour. So I think those things had never really been done before.
Hmm.
So most of the things that, I've achieved, it's just having to put your head down and work hard and give it your best, because it's hard. You don't have many examples to follow. So yeah, I think I haven't achieved as much as I wanted to in the US as yet on the LPGA. But I think
Okay.
this Olympics was a great week. It was finishing fourth, which was one of the best finishes I've had in on the LPGA, I guess, on in a golf tournament of that level. So yeah, trying to better those and put myself in that position, because if you keep playing that good and you keep putting yourself in the top 3, top 5, you're right in it till the final day, till the final hole, you'll win eventually. That's just the way golf is. So yeah,
Yeah.
the goal is to keep building those performances and keep finishing in the top 5 and top 10 on the LPGA and get that first win.
Hmm. But Aditi, you are the best person to answer this question. What is bigger for a golfer, a major or an Olympics medal? What is the gold standard?
I think it varies from country to country. I think for
Hmm.
a country like India, Olympic medals are probably the pinnacle of an achievement in sports. So yeah, I would say an Olympic medal. But growing up, I have to admit I didn't ever imagine winning or even competing at the Olympics, because golf was never in the Olympics. So
Hmm.
growing up, the majors were always the I would say gold standard of achievement in golf. But yeah, now with the golf
Now it's
being part of the
Olympics.
Olympics, it's both are kind of on the same pedestal. And yeah, either one would be a fabulous achievement.
Now you're saying that you have learned a lot of lessons. If we compare your performance with Rio 2016 and then Tokyo 2021, you missed the medal by a whisker. So a lot of lessons have been learned, and we see we'll see a better performance. I know you have done so well, but winning a medal now is your top priority in Paris 2024.
Yeah, trying not to look that far ahead as well,
Hmm.
because I still have 3 years before that, and I have 3 years on the LPGA and LET,
Hmm.
where I have to keep my status and play well every year to improve my world rankings and the rankings on those tours. So I'm just focusing on every year, and hopefully I build on it. And when I go to Rio, when I go to Paris, I go with way more finishes, better finishes than I
Hmm.
had going into Tokyo, for example. So yeah,
Hmm.
that would give me a lot more confidence in performing well there, and that's the goal.
Yeah, and Aditi, I want to know about the government support here. How it has been for you personally and as a whole for Olympic sports.
So yeah, it's been fine, because growing up, I did get to represent India a few times through the golf union sending me out. So that was, good experience a lot when I was a junior. But yeah, it can get better.
Hmm.
I think not just for the athletes at the elite level, but I think support for, junior golfers and
Yeah.
the next crop of kids coming and who are going to be the next face of golf in the next 10 years. I think it's
Hmm.
important to nurture that talent and support that endeavor, because it's hard, and with so few golf courses and so many golfers in India, it's hard to even get juniors to come into the course and play. So I think that's the main priority for me to get,
Yeah.
I would think, for kids to keep playing and have that support and have that encouragement, because if you have more kids playing, eventually you'd get the numbers and you'd have more golfers, better golfers, you'll have more playing internationally, more chances for people to go to the Olympics and win a medal.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi heaping high praise on you. He speaks to the athletes personally. Uh, does that make a difference?
Yes, I think so. That golf is now known, if not to every single person in the country, at least within the governments and the sports bodies, golf is known and people are taking notice of the sport. And also know that if I came so close to a medal, so it is a sport where we can win a medal too. So I think that's really important. And yeah, it's an honor, to be mentioned by the Prime Minister. That itself is great. And I think it's amazing what it's doing for golf in India. So like I said, that all those things have been, the biggest victories from the week, even though I didn't win a medal.
Aditi, everyone wants to know the other side of you. How do you unwind yourself after a long day of golf?
Not much. Usually I have to, do some physical workouts, fitness, or just stretching and stuff. And if I do have time, maybe watch some TV, watch some movies. But yeah, that's it.
I was reading
It's
somewhere that you are very fond of Harry Potter.
Yes, yeah. Harry Potter sometimes. When I was a kid, I used to read it a lot growing up. But yeah, any movies are good just to, kill some time. But while during the week, it's quite hectic. But yeah, on those weeks off, it's more about just relaxing and watching
Okay.
some movies.
And just two questions before we wrap this up. What do you want to tell the youngsters who want to pursue their future in golf but don't know how to start and what to do initially?
I think the important thing is to enjoy practicing and playing it every day, because golf is a sport where it can get lonely sometimes. It's not a group sport, it's not a team
Yeah.
sport. And in India, especially if you're a kid playing golf, you're one of the few kids playing. Golf clubs are full of usually old members playing. So I
Yeah.
think the important thing is to have fun, whether it's with your friends or just practicing with somebody, or even just enjoying the game every day. Because if it gets boring, then you probably wouldn't enjoy and you'll quit. So just make sure it gets interesting, it's fun. From the first day you pick up golf, you can't say I'm going to become a world champion. It doesn't work that way. You have to first start and enjoy it, keep practicing and have fun every day. And as you grow up, I think if you get better at it, you can keep at it. If not, focus on your studies also,
Yeah.
because that's important for kids as well.
Hmm.
And I would say another thing is, make sure you keep doing the physical fitness part, because golf is not as physical a sport. But I think in India we don't grow up with that fitness
Yeah.
mindset as a part of our life. So I think whether you end up playing a sport or not, I think doing physical fitness is important for a kid.
Physical fitness, and also you are saying simultaneously studies are also very, very important. But
Yes.
Aditi, how did you cope during pandemic? You got COVID, we heard, that
Yes.
hampered your preparations too?
A little bit. I had a bit of a stop in the season because we start the season in February. So May and June were 2 months where I could have been out playing tournaments, but I was stuck because I had COVID and I was trying to get a visa. And because of lockdowns, the consulate was closed for a bit. So I had 2 months where I was at home, and because of lockdowns, I couldn't practice either. It was just at home. So yeah, that was a bit of a struggle, I would say, because you don't want your season to stop until the end. Once you start, you want to be in the swing of things till the end of the year.
Yeah, it does take a lot of toll on your body. Last question. I know it's very early to ask. Uh, Paris 2024. Uh, what is your realistic target? I know all the tournaments are important, but for Olympics, your realistic target is that, I mean, you'll win the medal for India in Paris 2024.
Yes, of course. Every golf tournament we play in, I think me personally, every tournament I play in, I want to win. That's the goal. There's no reason you're there except to put your best and win. And so the same thing was the target at Tokyo. It's just that I put my best out there and I finished fourth. But yes, at Paris again, hopefully I can prepare well and play a lot more tournaments and have the same kind of confidence that I have now with this finish, especially before Paris. Have good weeks coming into Paris and then try and play well and finish in the top. Especially get a medal for golf would be an amazing achievement, and I was close this time, so definitely that's the goal next time as well.
Right. All the best to you, Aditi, for all your tournaments and also for
Thank
Paris
you.
2024. And hope you'll bring medal for India and for yourself too. And that's the wrap in the interview. You were superb with your answer, and I see a very, very matured head at the age of 23. All the best to you. Thank you for
Thank
giving
you.
us your precious time, Aditi.
No,
Thank you.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.